Welcome to Shape the Podcast, a podcast all about maintaining mental health by sharing stories from those who have overcome negative experiences and feelings, and then turned them into something positive. Meet your host.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Shape the Podcast. It's a special episode. It's a Saturday episode. I normally don't do episodes on Saturday, but I have a special reason to do an episode. Hope everybody's been great since our last podcast. Thank you all for watching that. It was a powerful podcast. For those of you who didn't get to view it, go back and watch it. It's great. But yeah, today's podcast, being that it is September, Suicide Awareness Month, most of you know that by watching my story that I am a 3-time suicide survivor. So this episode is for those who have dealt with suicide and or are dealing with suicide. And then also, it's a community episode. So I am here with Sarah, who is the founder and organizer of Drive Hope. And she can tell a little bit about that. And I'm with Scott. Scott is the owner, right? Founder of Depot Brewing Company here in Morrow, Ohio. And what they did is for suicide awareness for the Ohio Suicide Prevention. Scott, along with 5 other brewing companies, they developed a beer called Drive Hope, and proceeds from that beer go to help suicide awareness. So I will let whoever wants to start talking can start talking about it. That'd be great.
I can start. So my name's Sarah. I started Drive Hope about 4 years ago after I lost my brother to suicide. Somehow in the crazy world of things, we've ended up in a lot of breweries. My brother hated craft beer. So I'm not quite sure that he would appreciate this.
So, which is weird. You say your brother hated craft beer.
Yes.
And you Drive Hope is centered around community, but breweries,
yes.
record breweries. Why is that reason?
So our first year we wanted to do a car show. My brother worked to customize cars, especially Jeeps. That was his 9 to 5. So the first year we wanted to have a car show. We found a great parking lot in Sharonville that was ran by Sharonville. Just happened to be behind Third Eye Brewing.
All right.
So then our first year we got Third Eye Brewing involved. And then it's kind of grown from there. We actually ended up dropping the car show because it's so much work and we had to have insurance and we had to have portalets and we had to have permission and it was an all-day event. So while we loved them, we really kind of ended up building and developing the relationship with the breweries and talking to a lot of breweries. A lot of them have suffered loss. A lot of them are attempt survivors. A lot of them have employees that are struggling or employees they have lost. And we've really just found that they are community hubs. They're places that people come together, they bring their family, they meet up with friends, and get together and can have conversations. And it just, where it wasn't where we set out to be, it really fit our mission and it's worked out well for us.
Well, it's funny that you talk about that because sometimes what you set out to do, sometimes that doesn't end up being your purpose. Sometimes that your purpose might change and go totally different. And there's only one person who I think is in charge of that, and it's, you gotta, hey, whenever that purpose, happens, wherever that guy says, hey, I don't want you to do it this way, I want you to do it that way, you gotta listen, and my viewers will know that sometimes things happen for reasons that are unknown, and you just have to say, all right, I'm putting my full commitment into doing this.
Yep.
And if I fall flat on my face, I'll fall flat on my face, but I tried, and that's one thing that with this podcast and with everything that I've dealt with is that, I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. And as long as you don't give up and you keep on trying, then
Yeah.
sooner or later, you're going to touch somebody's life. You're going to create that community.
Yeah. And it's
it's-
been great for us.
Yeah.
It's allowed us to talk to a lot of people. And with us supporting Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation, one of the things they said is, people hanging out at breweries with their friends and stuff aren't the ones that are going through and getting training. They're not the ones that are learning how to identify those with issues. But if you can get out and you can get people to talk and you can have a beer and relax and hang out and the conversation's easy, you're going to make a huge impact.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of where we've landed, and we talk to a lot of people. We've met a lot of people over the last 4 years, and it's very rewarding and humbling and somber and all of the emotions.
Well, and that's how we met, because I was telling Scott earlier before the podcast started, my normal outreach has been through the facial hair community, and then finally one day I'm like, you know what, I want to reach out to my local community.
Yeah.
So I put that out there on Let's Talk Lebanon.
Yep.
Hey, if anybody wants to come on and share their story, let's talk about it. And so you reached out, and I had a couple other people. The Warren County, there's actually a mental health
The coalition.
in Warren County,
Yes.
Warren County and Clinton County.
Yep.
I actually just did a podcast with those guys.
Good.
Last week, as a matter of fact. So my outreach is now reaching outward. And this is the first time that I've actually done a on-site live podcast for the masses to hear. We even have it here at the brewery on one of the TVs, which they can't hear it, but they can see it. So
Might be able to hear us.
but speaking of Scott, if you want to talk about how you got involved and why you created the Depot Brewing Company, to bring such an awesome community together. Let's talk about that.
Sure. You want me to hold this?
Yeah, you can hold it.
Any right way to hold it? or-
What you're holding now.
All right. Well, it's really been alluded to so far, community and purpose. That's why I'm here. My background is Procter & Gamble, worked there for about 20 years. Enjoyed it. Great company, learned a lot, great experience, met a lot of great people. But there was something, especially towards the end, that just wasn't fulfilling me.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I realized it at the time, quite frankly. But when I look back, I know I wasn't happy. I wasn't living my purpose. During the end of my tenure at Procter & Gamble, two things happened. My wife was moving us up here this way anyway, because I was traveling a lot for work, and she said, we don't need to live where we used to live, but I want to be closer to my family. So we found our way up to tomorrow. And at the same time, my dad, he was 64 years old, he got sick and he passed. And that was the moment that was my turning point. That was when I said, life's short. There's got to be more to this than building stuff for other people.
Yeah.
And that was my moment to say, let's take a chance on building something of our own. And I immediately sparked to the brewery for a couple reasons. One, in Morrow, there wasn't such a presence.
Mm-hmm.
So it just seemed like a good opportunity. Our friends at Cellar Dweller do make beer at Valley Vineyards. So it's not like there wasn't beer here, but especially downtown in the business district, there wasn't a real presence like this. So we wanted to create that community hub for this community specifically, to bring people together. And that became our mission. So of course we want to make good beer. Of course we want to make money, but we really want to step change the future of Morrow and bring the people together to do it and co-create this space with them to propel Morrow into a new future.
And what people can't see on camera is there's kids running around outside. There's families here. There's people coming up on their bicycles. It truly has become a stopping point on the bike trail, and people coming over from Morrow Arts Center with the Dora cups. And every time I've been here, I'm running into friends. I'm running into people I haven't seen, or people are like, hey, let's go meet at the depot. It truly is bringing people together. And the beers are pretty good too. I mean,
So-
it works out.
So, you know,
Speaking of,
speaking of beer,
beers,
let's talk about this beer, you know, and why this beer was created, you know, and who was it? Who was the brainchild behind saying, "Hey, let's create a beer for suicide awareness, and let's get 6 breweries involved."
so I had the gift of gab. So last year, John Luce of Loose Ends Brewing in Centerville and they held an event for us, and him and I got to talking about what opportunities there were. So last year, him and I first started talking about doing a collab beer. And he knows some of the guys in the Dayton breweries. And I was like, John, if we can get more on, let's do it. He's like, I don't care. You ask. If people want to get involved, let's get them involved. So I was down here. I think it was one of your opening weekends. It might have been 4th of July. And Scott was here, and I said, hey, Scott, you don't know me, never met you. You want to jump in on this beer with us? And kind of walked him through it, and he was like, all right, here's my email, let's talk. And I think it was first email, you were like, we're in.
Yeah.
So it's been a month ago now, I think, all went to Loose Ends Brewing early in the morning. I think Taylor was one of the first ones there.
Taylor beat me there.
Taylor beat you there. And we brewed a beer. I've never done it before. Had no idea that it was literally an all-day process.
So sometimes it's more than a day.
Well,
Depends on what you brew.
yes.
I used to work at a brewery, so
Which one?
I used to work for Streetside Brewery down in Cincinnati. I was the delivery boy, but I also worked on the canning line and worked and cellaring the beers. So I got to see that process that goes into making a beer. You know, there's a lot. You know?
It's a lot.
It's an art.
It's an
Yeah.
art.
And a science.
So John Luce actually came up with the recipe after him and I sat down and did a taste testing. So it was an awful job to have to do in the middle of the day. I had to sit down and sample all these IPAs. It was really terrible. I don't
Terrible.
suggest it
Ah.
to anyone.
Yeah, never.
Rough.
And picked kind of a flavor profile that we wanted to go after. John had hops flown in from New Zealand. I think it was a month from the vine, or I think it's a vine, hops grow on. A month from being picked to being put into this beer. But we sat and hung out for the day. It was like 8 a.m. till 2:30 in the afternoon. We had a bunch of the breweries there. We sampled beer. We talked. Everybody really got to know each other. And then Tony, who is the CEO of Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation, even came down. So he drove down from Columbus, not a beer drinker. His question to us was, you mean these all taste different? I mean, truly not a beer drinker. But he was pouring in hops. He was asking questions. He had the refractometer out, the thing that you look in and there's a blue light. I don't know.
All that scientific
Yes.
stuff that goes in the
So, I
brewing
mean,
beer.
we even have OSPF they were there. They were involved and they were helping
So,
with the beer.
how did you get in, like the partnership with OSBF? Like, how did that come into play?
So
Was that when you started the foundation?
Yep. So when I lost my brother 4 years ago, I knew I didn't want to start a nonprofit. I did not want to deal with that. So I knew I needed to find a partner. Reached out to a number of organizations and just really admired everything OSPF does. They help veterans, they help minorities, they help teenagers, they help women post-pregnancy. They really touch the lives of any Ohioan that is struggling. And to me, that was important because my brother lost his best friend at 15. I lost my brother when he was 43. So knowing that suicide touches everybody, I wanted to make sure whoever I was supporting could also touch everybody.
Yeah. And you know, you're talking about that. It's especially with this month. I think that it's awesome that you had this. And a lot of people look at, you deal with suicide, you're a foundation, but yet you're drinking a beer. But what people don't realize is that this brings a lot of people together, and just talking, you're not at a loud, crazy bar where there's drunk people behind you. it's a very community thing, and if you can get somebody to open up over a beer and talk about their life and talk about what they've been through, like you might just help that person, and especially with knowing that $1 from each beer goes to help suicide prevention. That's a big thing. I was talking earlier. A lot of my followers on here know that I'm a part of the bearding community, and that I, along with my co-host Jason, who's not here today, we actually collab on a beard oil, and $5 of that beard oil goes to help mental health.
That's amazing.
Health. So, and that's my whole purpose is to bring community together. To let people know that no matter what you're going through, like it's okay to talk about it. And especially with mental health, you've seen it. With mental health, it's hard to get people to open up and share their stories. But we all have a story.
And it's amazing being in breweries. And like you said, there's a lot of people who question the fact that we're in breweries because alcoholism and addiction can lead to suicide and mental health issues.
If you let it, yes.
If you let it, right. But there's so many other things that can lead to it. So with what we've been doing, we're meeting people where they are.
Yep.
Last year we had an event at Third Eye, and I remember there was a group of people there. They were just at the brewery hanging out. My aunt comes up to me and goes, "Hey, you really need to go talk to this guy." And I said, "What's up?" She said, "His father-in-law attempted last night and he's in the ICU." And he just tried to be normal. He just tried to go out and still have normalcy and have that night with his friends. And I sat and I talked to him for 10 minutes, and it ended in a hug, and we were in tears. But people don't want to talk about it, but if you meet them where they are and you open yourself up to those conversations, and maybe add in a little bit of alcohol,
but it's all about,
they talk.
It's all about just being there.
Yes.
Yes, a lot of times we've seen that, alcohol does influence people to open up more, but that's the thing with a place like this and with a place like other breweries around town. It's that sense of community where, if you get totally drunk and annoy me, it's one thing, but if you start talking to me over one beer, then that connection can happen.
And I think that's something with breweries. I mean, Scott, how many people are you guys hauling out of here drunk?
And that's one of the beautiful things, and I think it's a misnomer about breweries for some. Like, people aren't coming here to get blasted. They're coming here to spend time with their families, watch a little bit of the game, enjoy other people's company.
Bengals football, gross.
Houday. One of the most rewarding parts of the job here is meeting all those people.
Yeah.
And you're right. You inevitably hear their stories. You share your stories, and you're connecting with people in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
And you're kind of a therapist in a way at a bar, behind the bar.
Yeah.
And you really can make those meaningful connections.
Sometimes you don't want to be.
Sometimes you don't want to be. I'm sure my hairstylist and my lawyer says the same thing.
So it's funny you say that. So OSPF approached me with some ideas. And one of their ideas is working with hairstylists, barbers, and bartenders.
Yeah.
Because those are the people you talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, you're sure your hairstylist doesn't want to hear your life, but they're going to hear it.
They do.
I mean, it's the places people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny that you threw that out
But
there.
it's when you meet those people, like, now I have little kids come in and give me high fives and give me a hug, and they're not family, but they are.
Right.
And it's special when you're able to create something like that, and you don't know you're impacting people in that way until you take a step back and look at it, but you really are, and it's all over 16 ounces or something.
Well, and with the way that society is now, we've seen how crazy it's been in the past couple of weeks. It's great to have such a place to where you can go, and you might see different. You might not agree on one thing or the other, but this can bring a lot of people together. So really, it's all about the outreach, and it's what you're doing with your outreach. It's pretty much what he's doing with this. You're bringing the community together to talk about what's going on in their lives, and that's really what it takes. So my question to both of you is, with Drive Hope, where do you see it going? Like, where would you like it to go?
I don't ever want to be big. I don't want to be the big guy on the block.
Because you'll lose focus.
I like where we are.
Yeah.
I like that I can sit down with the owners and the brewmasters, and I can sit down with the community, and I can walk down to a community table and sit down, and it's manageable for my schedule and my family's schedule.
Yeah.
To me, it's all about the outreach. It's all about starting conversations. It's not about money raised. It's not about how much we bring in. It's not how much we donate. It's how many people did I talk to? What were the conversations that I had? And
not just that, but if you're impacting one life, that's really all it takes.
Yes. Yep.
If you're able to get that one person to open up and talk, here's the thing, that one person's going to come back to you and say, hey, I want you to meet my friend.
Yep.
I want you to meet this person. Like today, like here at the bar, one of the bartenders, her father actually committed suicide, and I'm going to be talking to her about it, and she's going to be coming on the podcast here whenever she wants to. I'm not going to force anybody to come on, but it's one of those things where that's your purpose, and hey, there's nothing wrong with staying small, because I think once you get too big, you kind of lose that focus.
Yes.
And not just that, but you get lost in the oblivion. You know what I'm saying?
I was, as I said, I was born with the gift of gab. I can talk to anybody and everybody, but I don't want to be a public speaker. Do not put me on a stage. Then I don't know what I'm saying. Words don't come out.
It's okay to be on the stage. Trust me. I've been in front of anywhere from 25, 50 to 100, 200, 300 people.
Nope.
Well, one of my people watching right now is Mike Baker. He's actually involved in the bearding community like I am, and we did a event in July. It's called the Rollerbrid and Mustache Championships, and way over 600, 700 people were at that event, and I was on stage for a brief period of time, but I had to talk on stage. But that's the thing, is you're reaching that one person, and that one person's reaching one person.
And it's more personal. If I can sit down and have a one-on-one, and I can keep things small, it keeps it personal and really gives people the comfort that they need to have the difficult conversations. It's a lot on me. Like, there's times that, I'm not a therapist. I'm not medically trained.
Neither am I.
I'm just a talker.
I'm certainly not.
Yeah. So it gets heavy, and I'm sure you hear heavy stories. And it's times you do maybe take it home, and but I luckily have learned.
This is the first time I've taken it outside of the house.
Yeah.
So usually I'm inside. And like I tell people all the time, when I get done doing a live broadcast on a Friday night, after I'm done, I decompress.
Yeah.
I sit there and I might just be like, wow. Like, but like, and then I sit there and it's quiet. My wife's already asleep because she goes to bed early because she works in the healthcare industry. But I sit there and I'm like, if it wasn't for you or them, I wouldn't be here. And that's the thing. You cannot forget where you came from. You can't forget where you started. Because even if you go big, like let's say you want to take the degree, and we'll talk about that. Where would you like to see Depot from a year from now?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple, and it's not too different than what Sarah was sharing. I mean, our universe is here. Our universe is Morrow and the surrounding areas, and we want to do all that we can to enrich and engage this community. So the focus will be here, and it's being that person. You don't know when someone's going to come in, what kind of day they had, and it's being the person that always has a smile on their face, always here to give you a beer and a hug if you need it or whatever. But like, we want people anybody to feel comfortable coming into this space. So we want to continue to create a family-friendly, safe space that people can come and connect in. And through that, we hope to build Morrow around us in this community because I think it's a special place.
You know, they need to bring back a Mexican restaurant.
We agree.
We've talked about it.
We agree.
Those of you who don't know, I work in utilities, so I do a lot of what's called utility locating, and I've done a lot here in Morrow. And down the street from here, there used to be a Mexican restaurant called Don Bigotos, or
Bigotis.
Some people call it Big Toe,
The Morrow nickname.
whatever. But it was pretty decent Mexican, and then all of a sudden it just closed, and
The owner passed away, and
now
the family closed.
and now that building is just sitting there, which would be a cool place for a brewery. I'm just saying, but there's a brewery here, right? So don't start one there.
Well,
Don't do that.
Don't do that. But you know, Morrow and Scott, you were part of it. They have Dora now.
Yeah.
So you can get a Dora cup, and you can walk around downtown. You can go to Miranda's and get banana pudding,
Which
gelato. No,
that's the ice cream
I
place.
don't
down the street,
make it
right?
out of here with the beer, and I don't make it out of there with my banana pudding gelato. So for me, walking doesn't make sense. But other people could.
I'm lactose intolerant, so
Don't do that.
I have to watch my ice cream intake. But you know what? I do love banana pudding.
They have a banana pudding gelato that is amazing. But, you know, not having Don Bigotis took out really the only other option for alcohol? Or
The Mac has a bar in it, and then the
Mac has a
315,
bar in it?
yeah, they do.
oh,
Open sometimes,
okay.
especially for bigger events. And then the
Okay.
315 here has
315
alcohol
has it.
too, but that's more for events, like they have
Yeah.
a wedding tonight.
Yeah,
And then the other food option is Fresh Tomorrow down the road.
who is very good.
Yeah, so there's a couple of places to Dora too,
Yes.
but we need more businesses to come down here, and they're starting to come. They're renovating that building.
Yeah.
across
Well,
the
And there's a
street.
bicycle shop.
I like
Bicycle
that you're.
shop.
I like that you are local, and that's what you focus on. You know, you've seen the market in Cincinnati when it comes to breweries. It is saturated. They're in the Cincinnati market. I swear, it's probably the biggest brewery
I
market.
think
I've
there's
ever-
90.
There's almost a brewery on every single street. I know where I live at. Down the road, there's a brewery. Down the other side, go on the opposite side, there's a brewery. Like there's two breweries within 10 minutes of each other.
So I learned this week, though, thanks to Alex from Southridge, who is also one of our partners, that we are just now at the number of breweries in existence that there were pre-prohibition. Which
It's crazy.
it's crazy. That was a crazy statistic to me. And he's big on history of the industry and everything. And I'm like, man, they really drank before pre-prohibition, because this isn't a new thing. We are back to those days.
And I just saw a comment from one of my friends, Mike Baker. Baker, you never know what might happen. That might be a conversation down the road. But you know,
I'd host it.
so we might want to talk about that. Right? Well, you heard it from Scott. There
I might
You have to
win.
grow yours out a little bit.
Can I compete or?
I mean, we could have a brewery division. You know what I'm saying?
Taylor's
Taylor's got one. Alex has one.
We
John
shall see.
doesn't grow one.
You know, because a lot of my viewers know that I actually am an organizer for next year 2 beard competitions, but they're in conjunction with tattoo festivals. But
I mean, there's a nice stage out back.
you never know. You never know. There might be a beard competition here in Morrow, Ohio. Thanks, Baker. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Could be fun.
I think it would be fun.
Well, looks like we'll have to talk about that. But normally I go an hour, but I'm ready to drink some more beer. Anything you guys want to just say to somebody who might be out there struggling and might want to hear something?
Thank you for sharing your story, because it is important to talk about what you've gone through. Thank you for letting us be on. Thank you for drinking a beer with us. Just talk. Of course, I always, reiterate 988. If you're having problems, call, text 24/7. 988 is available. They don't send the ambulance to your house. They don't send police. I know that's a misconception that a lot of people want to steer away from it, but it is there to help.
if people want to like reach out to you or your organization or give or donate to it, is there any type of socials where they can go
Yep.
to?
So for Drive Hope, we're on Facebook and Instagram, and it's Drive Hope Fundraiser is the tag for it. And then Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation, who we support, most of their socials are Ohio SPF, with their website being ohiospf.org.
So that's awesome. How about you? Is there anything you would like to say to somebody who might need that extra push to just continue what they're doing and with their purpose in life?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what you said earlier. It's scary. Like, it is scary diving into something like this, but it's so worth it. And if you have a vision, if you have dreams, don't be afraid to go after them. I know you got to do it the right way and you got to be sensible and you got bills to pay, but like, go for it, because there's nothing more fulfilling than doing your passion and living your passion. And I've met a lot of people through P&G and a lot of people through this, and I'm convinced many of us aren't living our passion.
Nope.
And unfortunately, that's the way the world works. It is, or whatever you want to say. But you can.
Yeah. It's all about listening, right? You might think your passion is one thing, like we spoke about earlier, and then come to find out that passion is not what you thought it was.
Well, I'm glad you said listening, because I don't think, I'm 43 now.
I'm old. I'm 46.
I was, 40-ish when I left P&G. I don't think I was listening. And you said higher power, whatever. Something was pulling me. I ended up in Morrow. My dad died. I've never felt more pulled. So when you feel that pull, listen to it.
Just do it.
And know that there may be something there, and just go for it, because one day you'll regret not going for it. And there's an amazing, there was a nurse that wrote a book all about people on their deathbeds. And when they died, they didn't say, I wish I made more money. I wish I did this. It was, I wish I spent more time with my friends and family. I wish I pursued the things that I really wanted to pursue. And I didn't want to be one of those people. And I'd encourage anybody to really evaluate where they're at and what their passions are, and explore how they can include more of that in their life.
Yeah.
Life's just too short otherwise.
It is.
Well, thank you both for
Thank you.
letting me
Thanks for the opportunity.
do this. And it looks like there might be some more opportunities later on down the road, hopefully. But thank you all for watching this live, and then thank you for those of you who will watch it later on.
And the plug for Scott. Stop by Depot Brewing and grab a Drive Hope.
Well, most of my
A
viewers
beer competition.
And a beer competition.
Most of my viewers aren't local, but if you're ever in Morrow, which I guess sooner or later a lot of you will be, stop by the Depot. It's a great place. It's all about community. I love it. It's a great atmosphere. Plus, sooner or later, they might have an Airbnb / romper room. There's an old caboose out back. It's going to be my tiny
Got
home.
lots of ideas for that.
Yeah.
They don't know it yet, but it's going to be Kyle Waller's tiny home.
We can work out a deal.
But thank you all for watching. Again, reach out if you need to talk to somebody. I'm here. I'm always here. And I'm wearing this shirt today because I've seen a lot of it lately. Bullying, it doesn't make you cool. Don't do it. Have a great one, y'all. I'll see you on the 16th, because we actually do have a live podcast on the 16th. And we'll see you then. Have a great one. Have a great weekend.